Well, the camera's stuffed up, so I'm on a programmable setting. I don't know what it's going to be like. I'm just going to walk round to my local liverwort-site, and I don't know, the colours are probably all stuffed up and the focus is out or something, I don't know. But we've had some rain and the moss is all greened up, as you can probably see there. I can't toggle any of the normal settings, so obviously getting the camera wet the other day is whether it will come back on later on, I don't know, but we'll see. It's going to stuff the camera though for KI if we ever get to KI. I said I had to call it off due to the lockdown, and yeah. I think all these mask mandates, mandates are not laws of course, come the first 2 days of summer, I think Aussie's going to say, yeah, bugger it, probably use the FIRK, they're going to, and they'll just magically disappear overnight. I reckon that's what's going to happen. So, yeah. Anyway, it's a nice sunny day today following some reasonably heavy rain we had earlier on in the morning, so just going to walk over to the my local neighbourhood liverwort-site, and yeah, it's social distancing. As you can see here, we had quite a bit of water, and it's quite a boggy area here. I don't know if I can put the thing on. It doesn't even scroll up for spot colour or general trace, so it's just going to be pot luck, fellas. Colours are probably all out. I don't know. Hoping that some of the functions I've already had in the camera are automatically being transferred over, but that's just hope, isn't it? Hopium. Oh well. Apparently they're going to march on the Capitol on September the 10th, before September the 11th. So I think this time they're going back with guns. I think that's isn't that what the bloke said? If you make us come back, we'll come back with guns or something. So that'll be very interesting. Mike Lindell's having his 3-day symposium now. So so that's very interesting. So well, one more to go, and okay, well, there's a boggy area over here. As you can see, it gets quite wet here, as you can see. And we usually have a bit of jelly mould in this area. And it comes directly after the rain or a few days after the rain, but usually we get to see some jelly mould. I can't spot any at the moment. It's usually quite dark green, almost black sort of thing. Anyway, I can't see anything, fellas, but you know, probably need to put the camera in for a good overhaul or something. Well, I bet that'll be my Christmas present this year. Having the camera overhaul and getting the screen back on the back. Yeah. And they'll probably tell you, oh, by the way, if you want to have 4K, there's just a button here that you've totally missed or something. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, the wattles are out, but they're on the John Wayne, most of them now. Well, these are coming out, but the other ones, the ones with all the cherry essence, they're on the John Wayne. Yeah. Anyway, Mike Lindell's having his 3-day symposium. Been watching the Dilly show every night for the last few weeks, and it's getting quite exciting. Tory Says and Tory Says News did a good show last night, and there's another one I'm getting into. So, yeah. I'm always ever hopeful we'll get some sort of sundew coming up on here. Some of the, maybe even a glid or something. But I'll have to take you back to the glid site sometime in the next few weeks, because I found, with all this rain coming late in the season, I've actually found where the seep is. So I'll show you that. And yeah, it's not where you expect it would be too. Anyway, so yeah. Well, it's because of the road works in the area, and the plantains and everything. Oh yeah, I'll take you over to this spot. It gets quite wet over here. Yeah, you can see the various wet spots glinting in the sun. And you can see it's quite wet out here. And these are Kaipo daisies, of course. So they'll be in flower later on in the season. They'll be very nice. And you see the somewhat. So we're in the first 2 weeks of August, so we're having the coldest nights. And everyone's got their fires on. I think it's also they're trying to protect themselves from the dreaded Rona. Half the eastern seaboard is locked down at the moment. Victoria's on the edge of whether they're going to unlock or stay locked for another week or so. We've got afternoon briefing in about half an hour, so we'll find out. They had 356 cases yesterday. Apparently we're going to get more today, I think, so we may be closer to, 400 or something today. So, yeah. As I said, I think people are getting sick and tired of it, actually. Oh, and the bombshell news came out from some of the doctors out of Mount Vernon yesterday, so that was on the Diddy show, actually. So it's strange, because we're one day ahead of America, and yet he's getting his news like a day before I get it. So what does that say? You can only have two coincidences, can't you? Yeah, so we're a day ahead, and yet he gets the news one day before I do in America, and he's got it on his show, as a clip, and it's popping up here. So obviously the news out here is being delayed somehow by about 2 to 3 days, maybe 2. That's very strange, isn't it? So yeah, so it'll be 2 days before we find out what happens. So it might be find out, on the September the 13th, we'll find out that only Devin Nunes gets a walk-free card. Everyone else is under scrutiny, and most of them are hanging from the pillars of the Capitol Dome. Don't know. I mean, if the military turns up and goes against the people, there's always the petrol cannon, because it's very good, the petrol cannon, because it's always puts the onus back on the military. If they shoot at you, they self-annihilate. So, yeah. Well, they swore an oath, haven't they, to uphold the will of the people, haven't they? So if they go against the will of the people, well, they're just toast, aren't they? I mean, that's the whole point of having a petrol cannon. You take your water cannon down to the local petrol station, replace one fluid with another and go back to the fight, sort of thing. That's what Alexander the Great would do. It would be Greek fire, wouldn't it? You just spray all the military with the petrol, and you give them a chance. If they shoot at you, they're dead. They just self-annihilate. And then if you keep doing this, there'll be no one to fly the planes or anything like that. So they won't be able to bomb you or anything like that, because there won't be any left. They'll all be burnt to a crisp, sort of thing. And of course, you could always have snipers on the roofs or something like that. You could even have archers. So, it could be just people with a gallon of petrol, sort of thing, just running up to these cops in these vests and stuff. How quickly do you think a cop can get the vest off if he gets chucked with half a bucket of petrol, and some archer from the distance sends a cotton wool flaming ball into his chest? I reckon he'll be gone in under 3 minutes. He won't be able to get the vest off, won't be able to get any weaponry out or anything. It'll just be toast. And Well, aren't they also sworn to uphold the will of the people? So if they go against the people, they're, what's the word? Not carte blanche. They're enemy combatants. Immediately they become enemy combatants, and they're fair game, that's the phrase. They just become fair game. And yeah, sorry about the wind. I was going to try and put a beanie on, but it's just all too difficult, isn't it, these days? You know. Anyway, so hopefully the shit will go down in America and everyone will go, oh, yes. You know, like the scales will be removed from their eyes. You know, I reckon what will happen in the military, it'll be like Die Hard 2. You weren't on that trip we went to South America, were you? No. Bang. And so all these woke lefties, scumbag generals, well, maybe they won't even just wake up in the middle of the night. They'll probably, I don't know, they'll just shoot them in the beds or something. You know, well, what's the easiest way to get rid of them when they're sleeping in their beds? Just go in there and just, you know, unleash a couple of clips or something. I don't know. I mean, you know, I mean, what, you're going to waste time on a military tribunal for the generals if they've gone against the will of the people and they've sworn an oath to follow the will of the people? I mean, it's just stupid. Yeah. It's just a matter, you know, just, as I said, it'd just be like a case of just shooting them in the head, I reckon, wouldn't it? You know, you won't even give them the spiel from Die Hard 2. It would be just bang. Yeah. You know, they won't see it coming, I don't know. But yeah, I reckon that's what it's going to be, something like that. And this would look absolutely gorgeous if I had the old settings and I wasn't on this programmable function. It looks reasonable in the monitor, but you know, as I said, it's never quite the same in the monitor as it is at home on the computer screen sort of thing. Anyway, so I think that's what's going to go down. All this stuff that, this evidence going to come down. I've got a friend in America who's giving us the back arse rub sort of thing, saying, it's never going to happen, it won't happen, blah, 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 you know. And I'm thinking, you don't realise that you haven't, he's obviously not getting the scenes that are coming out of France. You know, they've gone into public buildings and they've taken pictures of Macron and broken them up in public. I mean, I reckon if Macron, it'll be like Ceausescu. If he doesn't try to leave the country now, he's going to end up like Ceausescu. I mean, the French are not going to have any more Macron with his vaccine passport. They're just going to, you know, drop a Madame La Guillotine there somewhere and, you know, whisk him away to it, chop his head off, broadcast it to the nation, and it'll be over, I think. I think, oh yeah, well, they had 2 weekends ago, they had, 50 major capital cities, 1 million in each. So that's 50 million people against Macron. I mean, surely that says you've lost the will of the people and that they want blood sort of thing. So, you know, this is going to be the French Revolution point too. And what happens if the British say, oh, can we have some of that? Open the channel, let the French in. And just say, well, you know how to do it. Take care of our politicians. Viva la, whatever it is. I don't know, but of course, then we're going to have to deal with China. And of course, you can't say you're coming or anything. You're just going to have to. As I said, I've done the calculations. Either 60 massive nukes and an earthquake bomb, or just 90 massive nukes, and you have to do the whole of China, so that if they try to launch a counter retaliatory strike, those missiles have to go up through, you know, 10 million degrees worth of thing and just get melted sort of thing, and fall back down on China or something like that. I mean, you can't even give them the option to get rid of Xi Jinping and his CCP party, because they might just launch the missiles in. So you can't even do that. You just have to annihilate the whole of China. I mean, it's just bizarre and sickening in a way that you have to take the Alexander the Great option and say, sorry, not sorry sort of thing, but, you know, his pet peeve was liars, and the whole world has been lied to, and it's not just for a very short time. So, yeah. as I said, make it lawful and legal, and you know, I'm quite happy to push the button, you know, but you've got to make it lawful and legal, you see, you know, by the power invested in me, sort of thing, you know. But, you know, as I said, you just can't give China an option, you know, you just have to annihilate them totally straight away. You can't even tell them you're going to do it. You can't even give them a chance to get rid of their CCP. You just have to annihilate them entirely off the face of the planet. And then, of course, then Russia's going to wake up really quickly then saying, oh, thank you very much. You could have done us as well. Yeah, I know. We've got so many nukes in the cupboard there, you know, we could have done you as well, you know. But we decided we'd give you a chance. Couldn't give China a chance, but we'll give you a chance to play the game. Do it properly, sort of thing. Anyway, as you can see, the water's flowing. And, yeah. Mother Nature has spoken, you know. Yeah, so we're probably going to have to go into a nuclear winter for about 10 years or 10 or 15 years or something, but, you know, is it worth it for certainty? We'll never have to deal with China ever again because they're just not there anymore. Yeah. Yeah. Extinction is forever. So as I say, I mean, you could repopulate the area after a couple of decades or something from people outside of China. I mean, but really, you know, you know, do you really want to? Anyway, so I don't think they realise what's coming their way. I certainly know what's coming their way, you know. Once the shit goes down, you know, there won't be any trials or courts or anything like that. It'll just be, you know, hoisting them up and a few burly men sort of hoisting them up, and it may be just a case of holding the, you know, the rope for 8 minutes or so. Just hold the line, fellas. You know, it'd be, and if the police was something that shoot one person, another person grabs the line, just like they did with the flag during the original Revolutionary War. You know, they shoot one person down, another one comes up and holds the rope. So you for 8 minutes until that person's dead, and then they get to another person and they start shooting this person. They're holding the rope, and that one gets shot or something, and then another person comes up to hold the rope, and another person is being dispatched. So who are they going to do first? Well, I think we all know who's going to go first, because it's always ladies first, isn't it? Yeah, because no one wants to see grown men cry. That's why. Anyway, we'll see how we go. But, oh yes, that's what I wanted. I wanted to show you the liverwort area, which I discovered early on at the end of summer sort of thing. There's a whole load of liverworts under here, and we're trying to glean from this area something about what makes liverworts grow, because, as I said, all those pots used to turn up from interstate from all these nurseries with Venus flytraps in them. They used to be festooned with these liverworts, and the backstory is, you know, they used to have these sort of osmocote pellets in there, and it was, are they osmocotes or are they snail eggs? Osmocote snail eggs. Don't look at the liverworts sort of thing. Of course, now we find out they were actually osmocotes. So some people were, well, I don't know if they were lying to us, but the nutrient poor story is not quite true, put it that way. But anyway, I don't really want to cross this, I might slip or something. But as you can see, massive amounts of liverworts. Why are they growing? And why are they growing here? And so on and so forth. So anyway, of course, it's got a lot of, course, then we got this disparity between Australia going into our summer and America coming out of their summer. And as this doctor said, you know, during the summer, it's very strange to have these respiratory diseases during the summer. It's not normal, sort of thing. So it would be good to compare Australia with America with the respiratory diseases during as we go into our summer sort of thing. And yeah. So it's like if you have those two robots, one lies and one tells the truth. You have to ask the question of the other robot about the other robot sort of thing. I think that's what's going to happen here. You know, if you're a Doctor Who fan, you'll know exactly which episode and what series that comes from. But But yeah, so we might learn from what happens to America, the bullshit they give them there and the bullshit they give them here, and we compare the two. We should be able to work out what's the real bullshit and what is the absolute God-given truth sort of thing. But by that time, I think most of these other people, as I said, I think what's going to happen is this so-called 10 days of darkness, the military will just blow the satellites and the transformers from all these places across America. They'll go in there, they'll super glue the doors and the windows closed, and they'll just go to town. Every floor, every office and every floor, just go floor by floor, office by office, and it'll be slaughter night. A bit like Crystal Night, but it'll just be more friendly, I suppose. You know, as long as they yell traitor at the top of their voices and, you know, have a copy of the Constitution in their hand when they do it, you know. Yeah, I'm waxing lyrical here, fellas. You know, it's sort of like, none of you mummies and daddies are going home tonight sort of thing because you're Chinesian bought and paid for spies and propagandists. Spouting all this rubbish against the populace of the United States, and you pay the ultimate price because, as you said, during war times, spies get shot when they get caught, and this is another revolutionary war, and they're propagandists basically. So yeah, they pay the ultimate price. You just go in there and maybe you yell traitor, I suppose, and you just shoot him in the face or something. I don't know. I mean, how it's going to happen, you know. Do you use a full clip on every person or just a couple, you know? Does accuracy count, you know? You just got to get the job done, dispatch them, you know, quick sticks, you know, move on to the next office, move up to the next floor via the elevator, you know. And of course, will we find this out, you know, after the 10 days of darkness? It'll be like the Berlin incident. Someone will come on the TV and just say, they're all gone. And there'll be this like uproar from the whole of America say, yay! Fucking yay! All these fucking liars and scumbags and bastards in CNN, MBS, NSNBC or whatever it's called, all these Mickey Mouse sort of acronyms or sort of thing, they'll all be just dead, gone. And what do you just board up the places, or do you turn them into museums? This is how it went down, or sort of thing. See all these people that you on the walls that you recognise their faces. They're all gone. You know. When life gives you lemons, you make lemonade or something. I don't know how it's going to go down, but they seem to be very resolved, as though nothing's going to happen to them. And I'm thinking. No. I think once the will of the people, once they've had enough, and once they start marching towards the capital, I think it'll be game on. It'll be on like Donkey Kong, as they say. I think you won't be able to. That's it. You pulled the trigger on the hand grenade. You've either got to let it go off in your hand, or you got to chuck it and let it go off somewhere else. It'll just be. You know, the fuse is burning, it's on, like Donkey Kong, and I don't think the military will be able to scramble fast enough to do anything. I don't think the police will be able to scramble. You know, if they start walking down the streets, there'll be people coming out of their houses with half a bucket of petrol or something and just chuck it on them and gone. You know, and it'll be their patriotic duty to, you know, let the will of the people flow. What does Salty Cracker say? Let the salt flow, sort of thing. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't think they realise what's coming. But you know, there won't be any Nuremberg trials. It'll be 1 hour all out. As I said, the only person I think gets a free pass is Devin Nunes, because he's the one that stood up right at the beginning and say, "Oh, there's something very strange and very wrong going on here." I want to know what it was that he saw when he went into that building, into that skiff. What did he actually see? They've never told us what he saw. It couldn't be something insignificant. So we'll find out. So anyway, I think that's what is going to happen. But remember that prophetic bloke on January 6th? He said, if we have to come back, we're bringing our guns. I think there's something along those lines or to that effect sort of thing. So they have been warned. If you force them to come back, which I think is going to be September the 10th, the day before September the 11th. So I think, yeah, so if the military are going to do anything, I reckon it'd be if they're going to be 10 days of darkness, it will be that time, I think. Why the people are marching to Washington DC sort of thing, the military will be dealing with the lamestream fake news media. I reckon they'll just be, as I said, you know, once the transformer or satellite blows on your building, you're fucked because you won't be getting out of the building. Once you hear that sound of that transformer gone bang, you know they're outside on the way in, so you're fucked. You won't get out, you know. Maybe they'll do the Red Indian thing. They always like to leave one person alive to tell the tale. So if you're hanging from the Wuhan bat signal at the top of the building, hanging on for dear life, they'll leave you alone and let you to tell the story. Well, I was the last person in the building and they left me to dangle from this Wuhan bat signal at the top of the building to tell the story down through time for the rest of the people, what went down on Slaughternacht or something like that. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. But as I said, I think people are saying, you know, all this, there is no evidence business. That just riles people up by saying there's countless terabytes of evidence, you know. How many coincidences can you have before you realise it is a conspiracy and people have conspired and they're going to have to pay the price because they know what the price is, you know. For being a traitor to the country, the price is death. And so, you know, it's totally lawful for people to take them out. You know, you can literally just walk up to them. If you've seen the evidence, it's been broadcasted across the nation, everyone's in consensus, yep, he's a traitor or she's a traitor, take them out, sort of thing. I mean, once you've reached consensus, you know, everyone's vetted the evidence and say, well, you know, there's no other counter evidence really, you know, nothing's plausible, or they find any counter evidence is fake news or something like that. Well, you know, basically that's it. It's all over. Red Rover. Time to take them out, I reckon. You know, do we really need them? Are we really going to miss them? I don't think. Well, not if you shoot straight. That's my joke. My joke of the day. You're not going to really miss them if you shoot straight. What's that, Rule 303 or something? From Breaker Morant? I don't know. Yeah, I know it's a bit of a joke. I'm waxing lyrical as per usual, but you know, I think as Aussies, I think we've just had enough. You know, bullcrap scumbag politicians, you know, just sort of lying to your face. That's what gets us. It's the gall of lying to your face. You know, trying to get you angry and violent. I say, well, you want angry and violent. You don't. I don't. You know what why they're really worried about anger and violence? Because violence is very, very effective. Violence works quickly, always seems to affect the right people, and it's done and dusted in a matter of minutes or days or things. So, yeah, I've never understood this violence thing. It just doesn't make sense to me. Alexander the Great would look at you in Gaul, I think, and just say, what? But violence has always stood me in good stead. It's always worked. You know, I've never had a problem with violence. It's never failed me, sort of thing. Violence has never failed me. So, you know, you've got to use it selectively and at the right time, and you've got to use it effectively, and so on and so forth. As I said, you know, he used to love putting a sword through liars and looking them in the eye as he did it, because that was his pet peeve. He did not like liars, because, as you know, lying divides resources, and a whole cascade of other problems come from lying. You can't, it instills mistrust in the other ranks of your men, sort of thing, and so on and so forth. The whole cascade of things emanates or stems from liars, sort of thing. So, Adam Shifty Shifts, old pencil neck Adam Shifty Shifts, I think he's going to be stretched a little over the next few weeks, literally. So, anyway, we'll see what happens, but I thought I'd just put it out there, what I think's going to happen. So once the fuse is lit and it's off and running, you won't be able to. It'll be like that moment in Land of the Pharaohs when he breaks the